Hello, dear students. We are reading chapter Reach for the Top, and till now we have covered up to page number 101. And in the previous session, we were reading paragraph 7. So, here in this paragraph, we have read that how Santosh went on an expedition every year and improved her skills gradually. She developed immunity to cold weather and heights, and she had the qualities of physical strength, mental strength, and strong willpower. And it was the year 1992, 4 years after her first casual climb on the Aravali Hills. She climbed Mount Everest. She got the opportunity to scale the heights of Mount Everest. And she was just of 20 years of age at that time. And she became the youngest woman in the world to climb the peak. Her seniors, they were impressed by her qualities of physical strength, mental strength, and strong willpower, and her companions on expeditions found her to be concerned for others and willing to work as a team. Thus, they were not only impressed by her qualities like mental strength, strong willpower, but they were also impressed as she was very caring, and thus she was always concerned about her fellow climbers, and thus she found a special place in their hearts also. So let us start reading ahead now. We will start from paragraph 8. During the 1992 Everest mission, Santosh Yadav provided special care to a climber who lay dying at the South Col. साउथ कॉल इसे हिंदी में दर्रा कहते हैं अ प्लेस on the mountain. So it was at that time that 1992 this example is given to justify that how she used to take care of the fellow climbers too. So Santosh Yadav, she provided special care to a climber who lay dying there. She found this man there who was badly injured, badly hurt at that time, and thus she tried to provide special care to that climber. She was unfortunately unsuccessful in saving him. But it was quite an unfortunate fact that she was unable to save that man. And thus, uh, but however, she managed to save another climber whose name was Mohan Singh, who would have met with the same fate had she not shared her oxygen with him. Now, dear students, when these climbers they go for such kind of expedition, they need to carry oxygen cylinders also, because when you go to such an altitude, the level of oxygen gets reduced there. So you need artificial oxygen also. So they need to carry cylinders also with them. So she managed to save this another climber whose name was Mohan Singh, and he would have died otherwise if she had not shared her oxygen cylinder with him. So Mohan Singh, he fell short of oxygen, and thus Santosh Yadav, she came forward to help this man by sharing her oxygen cylinder. Within 12 months, Santosh found herself a member of an Indo Nepalese women's expedition that invited her to join them. So, dear students, what we see here that within the next year, within after she had scaled the heights in the year 1992, she reached at the top of Mount Everest in the year 1992. Within the next year, she got an opportunity to join the group of an Indo-Nepalese mountaineer women expedition. They invited her to join them, and this way she got the chance to reach to climb the mountain the second time. So, thus, she scaled the Everest a second time, thus setting a record as the only woman to have scaled the Everest twice and securing for herself and India a unique place in the annals of mountaineering. Annals of mountaineering means in the history of mountaineering. Thus, she was able to bring laurels to our country, not only she became famous, but also it was a unique achievement. She found a place in the history of the mountaineering. So she climbed the peak the second time, becoming the only woman to have climbed Everest twice. Santosh, she made India proud by getting her name recording in the history records of mountaineering. So, in recognition of her achievements, the Indian government bestowed upon her one of the nation's top honors, that is the Padma Shri. Bestowed means she was honored. So, in to acknowledge her achievement, the Indian government, they honored her with the highest award, that is Padma Shri. Describing her feelings when she was literally on top of the world, Santosh has said, "It took some time for the enormity of the moment to sink in. Then I unfurled the Indian tricolor and held it aloft on the roof of the world. The feeling is indescribable. The Indian flag was flying on top of the world. It was truly a spiritual moment. I felt proud as an Indian." So, enormity of the moment means the greatness of the moment. It was a great moment, and sink in means to feel that moment, to be understood, to understand the kind of feeling that she was having at that time. So, Santosh, she recollects her feeling when she was literally at the top of the world. She was standing on the peak of Mount Everest, and she felt as if she was on top of the world. And she took time to realize that she had achieved something big. And thus she says that it took time to feel the enormity of the moment. And then she unfurled, she hoisted the Indian flag atop Mount Everest on the highest point of the world. And she also adds that she cannot put the great feeling into words. The emotion, the feeling, it was indescribable, means which cannot be described in words, inexplicable. That kind of feeling that she had, she could not express it in the world. The Indian flag was flying on top of the world. She felt proud to be an Indian when she hoisted the flag there on the peak of Mount Everest. Also, a fervent environmentalist, Santosh collected and brought down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. Fervent means sincere, a true environmentalist. She was not only an individual who was proud of becoming the second woman to scale the Mount Everest, but she also was a true environmentalist, a sincere person who also thought about the environment. Santosh, she collected and brought down. So, this is an example given here that how, while coming down from Mount Everest, she also thought of preserving the environment. And she did her bit by bringing down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. Now, you might be wondering how come garbage is found on the Himalayas. When the climbers they go to such kind of expeditions, they do carry a lot of things with them. And as while these things, like they have the eatables with them, they have a lots of things with them. So as those things become vacant and empty, they just leave it behind. So when those things are of no use to them, and thus we see that a lot of garbage collected on the Himalayas, on the Mount Everest, in those places. So, it is also said that Mount Everest has now become the highest junkyard in the world. And thus, thinking about the environment, Santosh Yadav, she did her part by bringing down 500 kilograms of garbage from the Himalayas. Coming down is also not an easy part. When you are descending from the peak of a mountain, that is also a difficult part. But she did her bit, she did her part, she thought of the environment too, and she felt proud to be an Indian, and thus, being an environmentalist too, she brought down the garbage from the Himalayas. So, dear students, Reach for the top, it is an interesting lesson built on the theme that one needs a strong will and firm determination to achieve one's target in life. These qualities can enable anyone to move from one achievement to another. And along with these qualities, if one has endurance and mental toughness, no obstacle can stand in his or her way. Santosh Yadav, she had these all qualities in abundance. No wonder she became the first woman in the world to climb Mount Everest twice. And for this rare achievement, she was honored with the award that is the Padma Shri. Thus, this story it contains a practical message for all of us. So this the importance quality that is that one should have self confidence, and everyone must strive hard to develop in oneself self confidence. And thus, one should also be of sure that he's on the right path of life. One must set a goal in life, and in between one's goal and its achievement lie hard work, determination, and faith in your own self. The goal one sets for himself should be a motivating factor in life. And one should realize that without a goal in life, one cannot reach anywhere. So, this is all about chapter Reach for the Top, Part 1 Story of Santosh Yadav. Thank you, students.